inspired with Pastor Ruben.
I urge you all to be inspired by Pastor Ruben and Ponsa every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Be inspired with Pastor Ruben Aponsa. Yeah.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
You will always be inspired with Pastor Ruben.
I urge you all to be inspired by Pastor Ruben and Ponsa every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Be inspired with Pastor Ruben Aponsa. Yeah.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
You will always be inspired with Pastor Ruben.
I urge you all to be inspired by Pastor Ruben and Ponsa every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Be inspired with Pastor Ruben Aponsa. Yeah.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
You will always be inspired with Pastor Ruben.
I urge you all to be inspired by Pastor Ruben and Ponsa every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Be inspired with Pastor Ruben Aponsa. Yeah.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
You will always be inspired with Pastor Ruben.
I urge you all to be inspired by Pastor Ruben and Ponsa every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Be inspired with Pastor Ruben Aponsa. Yeah.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
You will always be inspired with Pastor Ruben.
I urge you all to be inspired by Pastor Ruben and Ponsa every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Be inspired with Pastor Ruben Aponsa. Yeah.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
You will always be inspired with Pastor Ruben.
I urge you all to be inspired by Pastor Ruben and Ponsa every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Be inspired with Pastor Ruben Aponsa. Yeah.
Order for Wabama Buana. And it has one as somehow. We did this a work catch you a brabomo. Me person me catch us a un catchy. There be that sister, un catchy. Do media, Matuni didn't say be inspired. Be inspired. Me did you media ebe show crying. Me did you media ebe Kenya. Me be bua mo nya akoma mu ene adwene mu foforo ye. Me gire nyankopon twa sam so. The Bible, the scripture. Eso na me no wadi nkomo. Hwe eni da so wo homa wate. Erade be se no nsura ba mu ama wate. Enkachi, enti hia me. Osofo Ruben and Ponsa. Memene de we, eni memene de bia. Emra nonson abo pepepe. Mesa so to mensa. Efre nimdie fro, etiche ne nintire, abadwumadie yi so. Ene wa ba be che eye Awurade asema, ebeboa mi no wumie no. Awurade nhyirawo. Show that you can never miss. We are airborne every Saturday exactly 7 p.m. Be inspired. I am your regular host, Pastor Ruben Amponsa. Today, we are coming to introduce a new program to you that we have dubbed it Youth Korna. Youth Korna. God bless you. Thank you so much for staying with us every Saturday. We are much grateful. Sister Efia's Kitchen, our sponsor for this program. If you want weche, if you want fufu, if you want MPCA, any local food, Sister Efia is ready to give you a nice food. To God be the glory. It's so cheap. I want you to patronize with Sister Efia's Kitchen, and you will enjoy her. If it's about your funeral, if it's about your birthday party, if it's about your wedding, I tell you, Sister Efia will be right there for you. Today, I have a special package on this program for you. As I said already, we are introducing a new program which we called it Youth Korna. I'm not going to be your host, but I have special person, a young lady, beautiful lady who is grooming herself to be a lawyer. Come on, say something just right now. Say something. Just say something. Just say something. Hey, just say something. I tell you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
It's Youth Corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm out.
Yeah.
Take over. Good.
Thank you, Pastor, for the introduction. As we know, we have started our new segment, Youth Corner. So I'll be your host, Christabel, but I think we have already briefly met, but I'll go through my introduction. As Pastor Ruben said, I am an aspiring solicitor, and I will be I have some very special panelists. I can see them in the corner of my eyes. I've got a very special panelist. So I will do you want me to introduce? I'll hand over to everyone, and everyone can introduce themselves. So I'll start with my one and only bro.
Oh, Alexander Uswansa is the name. I'm a student of psychology at the University of Hull. Just a normal person, a bit controversial.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Sprinkle of controversy.
Yeah. and I'm a media person, so then generally something small about me.
Well, nice to meet you, Brother Alex.
Thank you very much.
Right. I'm Lois from Portmanso and a graduate of University of the West of Scotland.
Wow, graduate.
Graduates
Graduates are here.
All right. I did business management. I'm trying to dive more into business and management, and also leadership and that stuff. I'm a fun type. I'm full of taking of pictures and other stuff. So when everybody sees me, they feel like, oh, she's gonna take pictures, especially at church. I'm very cool to be around. So basically, that's what I can say about myself. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm Godfred Bonsi, a registered nurse.
Okay.
Registered.
Yeah,
No student.
No student. Registered nurse.
A registered nurse. I think I've got like some years of experience in my belt as a registered nurse. Yeah, I think that's basically more of it.
Yeah, I think that covers it. So nice to meet you, and I'm sure that you guys are all pleased to meet our guest today. As we have said in this new segment of Youth Corner, our main aims is to have conversations, and it's not just conversation amongst ourselves. We want you also to be able to interact with us. So you are more than welcome to either, if you're watching us on YouTube, to comment on YouTube. If not, you can give us a call or give us a text on 07 425 747246. That was 07 425 747246. If you give us a text or you have any contributions, you're more than welcome to send them. We have King of Controversy here, so if you have anything to share, you're more than welcome to,
exactly.
share your controversy.
I'll spice it up for them.
He will 100% will. I know he'll have a lot of you angry texting on your phone, sending messages in, but he means well, and he just, I hope he means well. We'll find out.
Just see.
I hope he means well. But in this segment of Youth Corner, we just really aim to talk about career, spirituality, faith, relationship, future, cultural differences, career progression. As we've seen, we've got a wide range of panelists here with us. So you have a wide array. Whatever you want to do, we definitely have somebody that works with them. We've got business, we've got psychologists, we've got a nurse. One more. Could you?
You've got a lawyer yourself.
Oh, solicitor.
Yeah.
You need legal advice? I'm joking. Don't call me. I'm not registered. But just to start the segment, and just so we can get to know each other better, and the audience get to know you better, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna start with one and only Elder Godfred. Just let's go around relationship status. So we all know. We'll start there.
Massive. Massive.
Well, just as you said, Elder Godfred. So I'm an elder of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Leeds here. I'm married, and I've got a little beautiful baby boy.
Married to one wife. Let's say yes. One wife.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. Sister?
Right. So I would say in a relationship.
I'm learning something too, guys.
I'm not asking you a question.
Why? Why me? Oh, I should say I'm not in a relationship. No, I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be sincere.
Are you in a relationship?
I am.
Oh, amazing. Nice to hear.
Last but never the least.
Oh, I'm engaged.
Oh.
In fact, let's talk about that.
I'm engaged. Yeah.
Let's talk about how did that come about? Story. How did you meet? Your love life to the proposal.
Let's just say we're in church. She's lovely to be with. So like after
What
some
makes her lovely?
Oh, you know, ask the questions. Ask
so
the questions.
after some years of friendship, I felt that no, like she was a rib. The Bible was talking about for me.
Wow.
So-
Whoever she's watching, she's
Yeah.
a
So
missing
so oh yeah. So I needed to advance the conversation. So I think I proposed love to her. And she agreed. So.
How would you say you advance that conversation for any young ones who maybe are pursuing to move on? Maybe
to be like me.
Whoever's at the friendship level and maybe want to level up. What would you
Well,
say?
I said I was controversial, right? So I'm always looking for the traffics. I'm always looking for the talking points for people all the time because I want to spice conversations all the time. So I was a bit choosy with where I profess my love to her. It was one beautiful evening. In fact, a day after my birthday. So
wow!
she had
Extra
actually
special.
taken me out for to a place to like have something to eat. So after the eating, I was reliably informed by my friends that we've got one of the artists in Ghana. King Paluta. So
wow. Say the name again. King
Paluta.
King Paluta.
So when I was told he was in town, I told her about it. She was intrigued. Then we passed through, and that was why I chose my moment. So,
Seize the moment.
Yeah,
Carpe diem.
I seized the moment. Then I gave her the ring, and it was affirmative. So yeah, so I'm engaged. I'm probably engaged.
I can tell. There's an engagement glow. I see it exuding from my brother here. The engagement
I'm
glow.
happily engaged, and I love every moment of it. It's,
Aww.
maybe I'll be like her soon. I'll get married
soon.
and start a family soon.
Very
yeah.
soon.
Yeah,
Very
because
soon.
if
Yeah,
you're
very
married,
soon,
I-
Very
I
soon,
really
very
should.
soon, hopefully.
Well,
Very
it is a
soon.
good- I mean, it's good. It's actually good if you. I mean, with a person. I wouldn't say right person, but if you're with that person that you're able to. I mean, have that vibe with. I mean, that compatibility. It's quite good.
You understand the language better. You know, so.
If she makes
Do
you
we
happy,
think-
why not?
We believe in the right person, or do you think if you've picked someone, they can become your right person, or do we think that when God created us all, maybe He nicely did my sister Lois he said this one's a 10, this guy is for her, or do you think whoever you kind of agree to commit yourself to, it will be able to sort of work? What do we think? I think Elder, I think you should start because I think you lightly
I would
touched on it. So do you think it's one person?
I wouldn't say right person or perfect person or something, because we know God created a perfect world, but then sin came in, and so the perfect became imperfect. And so I wouldn't expect anybody to be looking out for, to find a perfect person to marry or have a relationship with. It should just be, I think, somebody that you have, as I said earlier on, somebody that have that vibe with. You think, not you think, but that you can be able to be compatible with. There are many diverse things that goes into marriage.
Yeah.
Many issues that we have to, have that, we need to come into that,
agreement
to be able to settle on certain things. And so if there is that disparities between you two, then it means you cannot be able to get together to be a family or something. So if you both can be able to maneuver your way, have some understanding and some agreement on certain things, I'm sure you could be able to work certain things out. If you are able to agree on certain things in the early stages in your relationship, then yes, I think marriage will definitely work.
Work. Yeah. So I think what you're saying is just have some similarities and work. So there's no perfect.
Yeah.
When you find your middle,
middle ground.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, but
Okay, so adding more to what Elder said, I think you should get to know the person. You should study their character. Because when you get to know the person, you really get to know what they really like doing and things that they don't like doing. And you should also get to, know that you guys are having the same interest. You are like directing towards achieving something or a goal. So if both of you are having different goals or you are not having anything similar together, I think you shouldn't, go for the person. So we haven't got any perfect person. You get to know the person and you decide for yourself, oh, I want to move with that person. Then you go for it. If you don't want to cut it off, we should learn to say no.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm a big advocate for that. Sometimes just
learn to say no.
Yeah, you have to learn to say yes.
Okay.
At times you have to be, say no if you don't want it, because
just say no.
at the end you're going to live in a hard way and it's it's not going to be easy for you. So the earlier you say no,
the better.
Well, it's a bit hard for us Ghanaians to say
so say no.
I think that's the problem.
It's hard, but if you try,
and I think even as like sometimes, what do they call us, abroche babies? I'm a say no. You know what Elder just said then? For Ghanaians, me, I will say no. If I'm not, I'm like, don't like. That's not even with relationships. It could be with anything. You've asked me to do something. If you're not making it, I'll tell you.
You have to be blunt.
Or I'll say I don't want to.
Well, I would a perspective that in a relationship, the person should perfect your flaws while she perfects the flaws. So as one of the things I always look out for, I've got my flaws, but the answers for my flaws should be from my partner. She should be the person to be able to calm me down when I'm angered. She should be the best person to get to know Alex is hungry. She's the person to know that Alex needs this, he needs that to be able to complete life. So if I don't find my perfections in you, you're not the right one for me.
Really? You set standard.
Yeah, so if and definitely you also got your flaws. You should be able to find the answers to your flaws in me. That's why we are going to complement each other. So if I can't perfect your flaws and you can't perfect mine, it shouldn't work.
But do you think a person can do that, or is that rather God that can perfect your flaws?
I've always said this in the context of our world today. Let's understand that God will not come in spirit form. God works through people. So the idea is that if God has given you a rib and God has ordained that rib for you, the idea is that God is using that rib to channel you through the right path.
Okay.
So God will not come down and say, Alex, come on, you were angry yesterday, so hey, my son, don't do that. But God will tell Esther, Alex got angered. And Esther covers the flaws. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to mean.
No, I follow.
God works through people. And that is why you won't have Jesus Christ coming to preach to you today. You have pastors doing that. So if your partner cannot perfect your flaw, I'm sorry, walk away.
Okay, he said walk away.
Walk away.
He's piping some controversy.
He said walk away.
Walk away.
Because I think I saw from my sis Lois when he said they need to perfect you. I saw it was a bit like perfect. It seems a bit.
I mean, who is perfect?
Nobody.
So who can perfect you?
No, not perfecting me, but my flaws. Just like we were saying that we've all got our flaws. Okay, if I've got my flaw and you've got your flaw, the idea is the answers to my flaws should come from you. You should help me where I'm weak. I don't know if you get the point. So if I'm weak in an angle, it should be you to hold me up. But if I'm weak and you're also weak there,
what if your weakness is in an abuse form? It comes in abuse.
Yeah.
So.
As I said,
yes.
It's abuse. I mean, it's
their weakness are abuse. They're going to slap you.
Yeah.
It's a form of weakness.
No to abuse.
And they'll say you are the one that provoked me.
So you'll be like, okay, you have to be perfect in that way. So if I slap you, don't act, don't talk, just be quiet and watch me slap you.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to do?
That's not what I'm trying to mean. No. You see, this program also seeks to educate and entertain. Okay, it's entertainment actually. What we need to understand is that. I'm as a citizen of psychology, I don't subscribe to abuse. Okay? If you're in a relationship and in every single twist the partner's idea is to batter you, come on, walk away.
Yeah.
Don't try to have the habit that they're going to change.
So my question is perfect, like in that perfection way that you were talking about.
What
if it's in abusive form?
If it's abusive, walk away.
That's it.
I have my flaws. If my flaws is if I have anger issues, okay, and I'm angry and you're angry, who calms the person down?
So I'm getting to understand with the example you're giving. So if you have anger issues and that's your flaw, you have to look. I mean, you're looking out for a person that can be able to control
exactly, mold me.
Let's say solemn voice.
Exactly.
In some ways,
Kwame, why are you annoyed? Like you get the vibe.
I think yes. I don't know if I entirely agree. I personally think you come together as like one. I understand the point of like I think maybe I phrase it differently. I would perhaps say you complement each other, or like his weakness is my strength. So say for instance me, I can make the money but I will spend it all in one day. But maybe I have a partner who they're really
financially
good
disciplined.
at like they're financially disciplined. Maybe me, I can bring the big bucks, the millions of pounds, trillions of pounds. But if you leave it to me, maybe I'll spend it on a Birkin. You know what I mean? Whereas he will be more like, no, we need to do this, we need to do that. Where I would say that is a good matching per se. Whereas like, or maybe
correcting the flaw. Sally.
But I wouldn't say it's perfecting my flaws.
Okay.
Because I would say I'm halfway there by producing the funds.
So at least I spiced up a conversation for you.
No, you did. I'm definitely. I do understand what you mean as well. Especially with the example that you gave with like God will not directly come and say Himself.
Never,
so that is very.
God never comes down. He comes through people.
No, that is very true. So to conclude with that, I don't know if you think there's a perfect person out there. If you don't think there's a perfect person out there, that's all to you.
Yeah, I think it's subjective.
Yeah.
For me, I think there's a perfect person out there.
Wow, you think there's one person?
For you, definitely.
This is getting interesting. Let me ask you. So, you know how big the world is. This is a concept I genuinely, like, cameras aside, everything aside, this is a concept I sometimes really think about.
All right.
Think about how big the world is.
Okay.
We have all the 7 continents. Okay. We've come to Europe. Think about Europe.
Okay.
How many countries are in Europe?
24.
You've come to United Kingdom.
Okay.
Think about how many cities is in the United Kingdoms. Think about your city. How many people live in that city? What made you think that you haven't traveled the world? You are 20 and you found your person.
Perfect person.
That's a concept I genuinely struggle with sometimes. Because I'm like, I'm only young. Like I'm not saying I need to meet everybody, but sometimes someone will be like, I found the perfect person.
Like,
I say you've lived in the same small town.
You've been in Leeds and you think you found your perfect person.
Come on. Your husband is in America. How do you not know that your husband is in America?
You see, what? Okay, let me help him. Okay, let's hear. Oh, no, let's have you first.
This thing that we're talking about is about making a choice, and then if you make that choice, you commit to that choice. And so, I've made a choice that I feel that this is the perfect. In Alexis' words, this is the perfect person for me. And so I'm committing to this choice that I am making. It's from your own free will, and then you're making this choice of yours. And so if you're making this choice, you need to commit to it. You need to put some work in this choice that you're making. And so for that reason, since you're committing to this choice that you've made, the other people that you think they are elsewhere in the universe or
wherever,
they don't matter. I would say they don't matter.
No, I think that is very important. And as you were speaking, it really reminded me of like love. And like how our relationship with Christ is, because He could force us all to worship Him, but He doesn't do that. So I think that's the beauty in you saying that we have a choice. Say maybe I haven't traveled the world. I don't know if this will be the best option, but I'm picking you in this moment. I'm picking you. It kind of reminds me of our relationship with Christ as well. Whereas like we have the choice to do whatever we want, but because He's given us that free will, it's a conscious choice. So I am going to take that in my back pocket and consider that is a very good point, and I thank you for that, Elder.
And I think we also have to understand this point. You'll be able to connect very well with the environment you are in. That is why people who have that thought though, I don't subscribe to it, but sometimes I tend to understand their position. People advise that they expect their sons and daughters to marry from a particular lineage or clan. The idea is that
we'll get on to
that you should be able to work within an environment you belong to. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to mean. So you don't expect that you will live in Leeds and probably go and meet your partner in Brazil. It's not magic.
What if you go on holiday and you see them and you're like, wow?
Yeah, you could go on holidays and you meet them there. But when that happens, in the process where you won't know each other, you create a pact. And with a pact, it will definitely mean at a point in time you get to see each other. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to mean. You will not marry a stranger.
No.
And because you've been able to make friends with that person, the person becomes part of your environment. Environment is not necessarily about where you're living. I've got an environment in Ghana. I communicate with family and friends. They are still part of my environment. It's not just my neighbors in Amley who are my neighbors. I have people in Ghana, friends in USA or wherever. We speak, and because of that, they become part of my environment. We have to understand this perspective that environment does not necessarily mean where you live.
Yeah.
Friends and families who become very connected becomes part of your environment.
That's true.
So if you meet somebody in Brazil, the person becomes part of your environment. So you don't meet the context that you're going to have to travel well for you able to get the right person. The most important thing is ask yourself these 3 questions. Is she ready to understand you? Love is understanding. Number 2, are you ready to understand the person? Very important. Sometimes we tend to be very singular. It's always about me, but not the other end. If these 2 questions are answered, the third one, take it to the different level. If you get your 2 answered, don't think about it. Move to the third one.
Okay. We've gotten some gems for our brother here. I've got some questions. I'm going to read. I don't think you guys have seen the questions that are coming through, so I'm going to read some. We've got from our brother Kumi, George Jr. He said, Alexander, the romantic man.
I know George. Oh, George, thank you. Oh.
And then we've got got brother Gabriel here. He says, a perfect marriage may not exist, but the goal is for your partner to love, care for, and support the journey you choose in life. Once you marry, the pronouns I and me give way to we. Yeah. I like that. Marriage is a beautiful journey of compromise where understanding each other and making sacrifices are essentials for true unity. And we've got our own brother Obed Safo Minta said, guys, there are no right person relationship.
Really?
We only choose those we can entertain their sense and nonsense.
Wow, that is sparkling. But it's true. Like you have to. Well, you should be able to fool your partner.
It's true.
Yeah, if you can't fool together, come on. Sometimes you have to create the
talking about entertaining their nonsense.
Their sense.
Their sense and nonsense.
And their nonsense.
Ooh.
I like that.
No, I do like that. So I think we've all
that's
got...
massive.
That is very massive.
Very massive.
Whenever you're doing your checklist, what brother Alex just said, you need to add, will I tolerate their nonsense
and their sense?
And their sense, both.
And then the nuggets for us.
So we thank you for that.
And the nuggets for us.
So I'm just going to quickly move on to another question. I think it was Elder Goffred was discussing, he mentioned something about culture, and I think you also touched on different tribes. How do you feel about that in regards to, say, for instance, me, I'm Ashanti, and I say I want to marry an Infante person, or even somebody that's not even Ghanaian. What is our standpoint on that, if we can go round?
Let's have the lady first. Let's see what she thinks.
Okay, I would say different cultures does not really matter, but at times it's based on our background from our parents. Like some parents, they'll be like, oh, we are Ashantis, we don't want this kind of tribe. But to you think that person is okay, like you've really studied the person, you think that person really matches you in all ways, or all angles. But if your parents insist that I don't want that person, what can you do?
Especially with our culture.
So I think our parents can be a standing block at times. So that's what
I do think it's true, especially with, like, I don't know if I think we share the same sentiment, but I know within the Ashanti tribe, like, it's the parents that almost give it away. Because I know there's different culture where it's like the church will stand in place and do that. But I think our parents will say, it's between, it's a family relationship. So what she's saying, if your parents are like, no, how can you go forward with that if they're opposed to it?
Well, with a different perspective. I know it might sound controversial.
You always have a different perspective.
I've always got different perspectives. Why won't you listen to your parents when they say, don't marry from tribe A? Why? No. Just listen to them.
Yeah, you have to. Because at times...
What do you think that's the person for you?
That's the person for you?
I love this guy.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
whatever they say, if they say they don't like this person, and you insist you want to go with that person, and they don't bless you, do you understand? You're gonna go with curses.
Oh, who said that?
he said
that.
Don't you know that
you're gonna go with curses?
When your parent curse you, it's a different thing altogether.
Oh my
so
days.
If your parents are saying this person I don't like it, just put a stop
Well,
And then
well, I don't think
That's controversial.
Some people, you know,
it says. I don't think your parent that actually gave birth to you would want to curse you. But then,
whatever they are going to say.
you know, there's this. They say that what an older person will see while sitting.
yeah,
I mean, a young person, even if you stand or anything,
you cannot say it.
you wouldn't see it. So maybe the from their own experiences, there are some things that they would want to point out to you. But then at times, you know, we the young people, we get blinded by love and so many things. And so we do not get to see the things that our parents or somebody is trying to draw our attention to. Even it could be our own friends. Our own friends could be drawing our attention to certain things about the partner or the person that you're in a relationship with. But then because of this blindness of this love, we know you didn't get to see it.
But you see, sometimes it's jealousy. The way some friends are jealous of
That's
us.
how you think it's jealousy.
I'm telling you, Chris, like, seriously, people are very jealous.
Let me hold you there. Just so we can remind everybody. Remember to send in your questions. I've got the questions here. See if you've got any questions. You're more than welcome to send them through. I will do the phone number again. It's 07425747246. You're more than welcome to send your questions or comment them on YouTube, and I'll be sure to read them. And we'll get back onto your jealousy.
I know somebody. I know a friend.
Hey.
And so he actually. So let me use Elder and
Hawaii.
no, not a wife. Elder and Lois as my case study
Okay.
to represent them. So actually, Elder is in love with Lois. They are actually on the verge of getting married, and Christabel shows interest in Elder. Christabel is a very good friend of Lois.
Okay.
So, not wanting the event to happen, she found a way to like backbite,
Okay.
supposedly preaching out the flaws of Elder, which obviously we're through.
Oh.
Listen to this.
Okay.
Preaching out the flaws, because, and that's one thing we have to also understand. The Lois was always interested to tell the flaws of the partner to Christabel. So the kind of advice she was giving him was actually the best in the context of the issue she was in.
Yeah.
But she had a different mindset to be able to get back to girlfriend and probably have a way through.
Yeah.
She succeeded in getting them broken. And less than a year, other girlfriend got married to Christabel. And now they are living happily ever after.
Well, I mean, there are many scenarios and occasions where, just as you were saying, if the parents do not want to bless this particular relationship that you have with this person, others have been through, they went through the hard way. They were too stubborn. Didn't want to obey, listen to whatever their parents were saying, and they are living a happy marriage life.
After
And then there have been many other instances where, they went ahead.
It didn't work out.
It didn't work out. And then it's more like, I told you so from the parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where it all boils down to the individual connection that you have with a person.
So-
although it's difficult because
what you're trying to say-
after having an individual connection, you need to go into the family.
Yeah, I think that's the thing I always think. I'm like, it's gonna have to be introduced.
Where are you, like, even if your parents say you shouldn't go, like, you should go because you really know the person, that the person is going to help you.
Yeah, at
So-
times you just have to
Yeah.
maybe try and
wouldn't
convince
listen to
them,
your
let them buy into.
Exactly,
know that.
exactly. What-
Listening to your
No,
parents
if you're my
very
mom and my
key.
dad, if you're mom and dad, and I go out there, I'm like, oh, come on, I love this girl. I want to be with this girl. And you're like, no, I don't agree. Come on, why shouldn't you agree?
That's why-
You're my parents. Like, you should love what I love. Come on.
That's why somebody said.
You should
It's
love
not me
what I
that
love.
said it. Oh.
Okay.
Brother Alex, it's not me that said
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Me
repeat that
patrol.
for me.
Please don't
It's not me that
certain
said it.
tribes
Somebody said
in their-
Alex is in love. Oh,
Oh,
it's not me that said it. Somebody said it.
oh well, the truth is, your person might be right. but the point is, come on, if I love somebody, you my mom, you my dad, I'm able to bring the person home. Come on, before I bring the person, I'll definitely
Discuss.
scheme to and be sure that
Yeah.
the person meets my expectations as well. And mind you, let's understand this. My parents brought me from a home. I was nurtured and I was cultured. Okay, but definitely you'll be given some code and conduct that apply to the home. And before you always go out to make a choice, you also try to look at the background where you're coming from to be able to influence your choice. So by virtue of the fact that you gave me training as my parent, and I'm like, okay, I've taken your training, I go out there and I find somebody, be ready to understand that that person fits into our training. That is why the person is there.
Okay, so you're saying
you have to accept.
Parents could never not accept
Why
because
should-
you're the one that trained me.
Exactly, you train me. So if I'm bringing a demon, it means you're a demon. Like it's just as simple as that.
There is logic to it.
Yeah,
I
you
follow.
you
I
gave me a
follow.
training. I've been able to fail within the training. You are proud of me as a parent. And I bring somebody out and you tell me no, we don't. Why don't you accept?
Because they're infante. We were Shanti people.
Come
Why
on.
We bought infante.
Let me chip in this.
Fantini,
Listen,
only
some
Fanta phone I'm there.
some families said they've got bad experiences with other tribes, and they've got that negative impact still in there. So when you are bringing that same tribe in there, they are going to refer you. Oh, this person got.
Lois, I've got a simple question for you.
This
So
person
if you
happened.
sit,
And
if you
it's gonna
sit,
happen to you.
if you sit, if you
Yeah.
sit
So
in
why
a
don't
car,
you put a stop to
if you
it?
sit in a
Yeah.
car, Chris, you sat in a car and had an accident.
Yeah.
Won't you ever sit in car again?
You will.
You will.
You definitely will. So
No.
the fact that A went, it didn't work means B is going to be the same. Come on. I'm different. My name is Alexander Obuswanza. I am different. Different. Obuswanza.
Yeah.
But
I'm
Alex,
different.
You are forgetting the fact. You are forgetting the fact that the part that says that after you wanting to go on with whatever you have at the moment with this particular lady, you need family as well.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Come
Yes,
on,
you will have
family.
the issues. That's why I'm saying that you need to let them buy into what you see in this person.
Yeah.
And then if they have their own reservations as to why they do not want this, you have to listen to them.
Yeah.
That's when being blinded by love
Doesn't
that's not coming.
Yeah.
Because you need to actually also listen and then listen
a
to good
stop to
advice.
it. Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think that is
the-
also.
Cancel, yeah.
It's also very
key as
important.
well.
But you see, let's get it this way. Parents can pray for you. Oh, Charlie. So you see, when you say, oh, bad Jan, go now, sorry, they won't chant on the number. What is it? Say, my comfort demon, abana. Mechanic,
God forbid, please.
yes, make a china, mamma, for ne papa for Natiani. My comfort demon, aba. Na, who's a demon, my comfort banner, dear, ja, Bushia. Mom, pie, mammy.
Oh, but I thought that's why
Prayer,
you're
you know.
fat and tokwa never. Like say for instance, I've now put my hand in fire and I'm telling you,
Chris,
mom.
Chris,
Yeah.
why should you be expectation in your mind that I'm going to marry, but fight will come? Why do you have that premeditated
Tribe,
thought?
like different
Tribal
tribes.
differences.
Try.
You see, let's understand this. I think the education needs to go down very well. That before you are certain to marry somebody, you as the following person should be ready to tolerate everything. If you get to the point where you can reach the level of tolerance and you go to parent, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Because if I can tolerate you and you like tozafi and my culture says it's fufu. Okay, but babe, today we eat tozafi, tomorrow we eat fufu.
Okay.
Or okay, babe, I'm gonna eat your tozafi for you. I'll eat tozafi every time. I'm like, babe, I've been doing a request for you. Come on, try this for me one day. Then she tries that for you. Oh, so your fufu was actually nice. You work it out. So you see, the period of relationship is necessarily the period to tolerate and learn. If you don't see these red flags, if you don't see these signs, don't go to your parents. Why do you go and trouble your parents?
That's true.
The moment you go to your parents,
you're sure.
you're sure.
No.
And that's where you see, as a parent, if your children come to you, they are sure.
The sure. Yeah, that's
So
why
you have
they
to
count.
believe
Yeah.
and pray for them and give them the blessing to go and enjoy their home
No.
and stop this
I
cultural
the parents will
diversity
call
thing.
you after this. You're poor over bro. Don't
Mom, good
worry.
evening.
They will call you.
Mom, good evening.
Just to round everything up, I do
Yeah.
think, just to conclude, I do think sometimes it comes to personal preferences, but I do really share the sentiment of what Elder Godfred said, that if they're saying, for me, my point will always be, if they're sharing something that is logical, maybe they've actually shared a concern that maybe because I'm blinded by love or whatever they call it, I'm like, oh, this is a problem, then I feel that that's an opportunity for me to consider. But if it's just, let's just be fact, it's just plain out tribalism, there's no other reason, it's just that's the reason, then that's where I feel as though you can also, you know how Elder Godfred said, if you think you're sure, then you can also go ahead. So I think with all things we have our discretion, and God has given us our own
That's true.
free will. So, and also I think it was Ellen G. White that said, if you're praying how many times, I think 7, you need to double it. How many times you're praying, you need to double. So I think if you're in
So
that
if you don't
season-
pray at all,
if you don't pray at all, then you need to start.
okay,
If you don't pray at all, then you need to start.
All right, that's
so
fine.
I thank you all. Just to wrap things up, thank you all for coming onto the show. I think today was just very chill vibes. We got to know each other. We know everybody's relationship status.
We don't
But
know
le-
yours.
Oh, me, I've already been here. We know me. I'm a single Pringle, not ready to mingle. Don't text me. Don't call me.
Ooh.
I'm very much okay. You know how they say ready to mingle?
Yeah?
I'm not ready to mingle. Leave me alone.
It's very easy. amazing.
I think we'll get onto it in the next future segments, but I do think that there's a set level that you as an individual person should be to before you start looking for other people.
You
to
think
bring
you're not
in.
there yet?
No, I'm not there.
Don't worry.
I would cause chaos.
Don't worry your heart.
I would cause chaos.
You know,
We're breaking hearts left, right, and
yeah, exactly.
center.
Guard your heart and protect other hearts as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna see just some last questions that we got. We've got Alex and Bright was the best men during my marriage ceremony. So you have to call them so they can see. That was also from our brother Gabriel.
Okay. Oh, Gabriel. Nice. That's true. That's
You
true.
are, so we'll be calling them for you. So next week we're gonna come and bring more with, as we said, everyone's gone through with their professions. We're gonna come through with more career guidance. I think you were saying you studied business management.
Yeah.
We'll go into that. As I said, you can't go half. So I feel as though there's also things you should.
Sure, we'll be able to do more. We'll speak more into career progressions. More importantly, like where we are now, because most of the youths today are confused on choices to make. So I think it's imperative that we do that.
Yeah.
Youth Corner is here to stay. Like, trust me, everybody should be ready to pin on. Like, if you want the nugget, is here. If you want the nugget about spirituality,
we have elder. We need diversity.
You see that drift. Or if you want the hakakra. Oh, me, I did.
He's there.
I'll be able to give you that vibe. So it's everything. It's everything. Don't miss it. Like, don't miss it. You have no reason to miss it.
That's the reason why I subscribe to it.
Yeah.
I mean, the diversity that comes with it. I mean, there are a lot of things that we need to be discussing for us, the youth. At times, maybe we think that our voices are not heard. Yeah. And then we do not get to have that same conundrum of the conundrum to be able to discuss things within ourselves for ourselves. And so I think that's why I subscribe to it.
Yeah, no, that is what this show is for. So send your questions. I'll repeat the number one more time: 07425747246. Any questions? Any contributions? If you want to come anonymous, you can send when you send your text to say an anonymous. Next week we'll also be able to do phones. So if you're confident and you want to call and you want to fight with our brother Alexia, you're more than welcome to call
your battles.
Bring your battles.
Bring your jobs. I'm here for you.
Points and discussions. But I'm praying that as we go on with this show, we'll all be able to get everything from it. I know today we had some more relaxed chats about relationships. I think in light of our newly engaged, our romantic.
They are giving you a pressure.
Romantic. Mr. It wasn't me that. What did I say? It wasn't me that.
Actually, Elder is my role model.
Oh, wow.
I'll during the show, one of these I'll share what motivated me to propose.
Wow, okay. So stay
tuned. I picked the cue from. So stay tuned. I'm going to tell about Elder's love life. Elder, we'll do your love.
But I thank you all so much for tuning in today. As you know, we'll always be here every Saturday at 7 p.m. on Be Inspired. You can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, where all the social media platforms we are there. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And you're more than welcome to still send your questions in. So we'll be here same time tomorrow. I'm your host, Christabel Barr, and that was Youth Corner. Thank you.
Inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
You will always be inspired with Pastor Ruben.
I urge you all to be inspired by Pastor Ruben and Ponsa every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Be inspired with Pastor Ruben Aponsa. Yeah.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
You will always be inspired with Pastor Ruben.
I urge you all to be inspired by Pastor Ruben and Ponsa every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Be inspired with Pastor Ruben Aponsa. Yeah.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
Be inspired.
You will always be inspired with Pastor Ruben.
I urge you all to be inspired by Pastor Ruben and Ponsa every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Be inspired with Pastor Ruben Aponsa. Yeah.